Largely good weekend when it came to the COVID lockdowns. They essentially ended for everywhere but Sydney, which meant for those of us who spent at least part or all of the weekend in lockdown, we did nothing. How was your nothing this weekend? Here are the numbers, though, the numbers you won't see on the 6pm news, you won't hear anywhere else. These are the numbers that tell you the true facts about COVID. In the past 2 days alone, Saturday, Sunday, 223,000 people across the country have been tested. Yes, 61 new cases have popped up, but that is 0.02% of everyone who went and tested. We're on top of this, Australia. Well done to everyone involved. The system works. Yet lockdown still exists for more than 6 million people, largely north, south and west of Sydney right now. That is the main focus. As for the total number of cases around the country, 413. That is including everyone who's in hotel quarantine. 66 people are in hospital, but you should know that everyone who is a positive case in Queensland gets sent to hospital. So the key number is the ICU number, and it has gone up in the past couple of days, but it is nowhere near the Delta strain and all the rest of it that they've been screaming about in the past little while. And the very good news, 0 deaths in 2021 from coronavirus in Australia, which means good news, right?
We are seeing numbers go the right way, but I do say cautiously that could still bounce around.
No, of course not. That's just the message being said by the person apparently running the show in New South Wales, but the person who gives all the advice to the person who runs the show and maybe running the show when it comes to lockdown, well, she says this about the situation in New South Wales.
Please do assume that you're next to someone who may have COVID. Ensure you are wearing a mask at all times and ensure that it covers your nose and mouth. And also, please keep your distance.
What? Just assume everyone has COVID? Now, okay, that means, yes, we're all going to keep our 1.5 and everyone knows that for the next little while, but literally everyone has COVID right now? And of course, the people who are the most dangerous are the ones that you apparently live with, according to the bloke who let the Ruby Princess get out of control, the health hazard.
Right now, the most dangerous place is actually our homes. Aussies tend to think of their home as their castle, but right now it can be COVID central. Kissing, cuddling, closeness, any proximity at all can mean that this virus can get you and spread it then to others when you leave that house.
Ooh, you're the problem. Assume even that you have COVID when you look in the mirror. Keep 1.5 metres away from yourself. The facts have been all the way through this, that as long as people get tested, as long as anyone who feels crook, who's been to any of the places they tell us are the worries, know anyone who's got it, then this thing doesn't just randomly pop up on the other side of town. If people keep getting tested like they are, and the numbers remain low, like they have always been, the number of people in ICU can remain as low as possible, then we are on top of it. No need for the lockdowns all over the shop. And of course, the closer we get to no more lockdowns, well, it depends on this number, whether you like it or not. 231,000 people have been vaccinated in just the past 2 days. Total 8.2 million. Now, this is a pretty good pace that we are starting to set in Australia. No, it's not everyone, but 1.1 million doses, according to the Prime Minister, have been handed out in the past 9 days alone. But Each Way Albo's not happy. It's not fast enough.
Simon Birmingham couldn't say when Australians under the age of 40 will have access to Pfizer. That's what happens when you think it's not a race.
He's got nothing in the tank except for this issue, which is why the Labor states like Western Australia and Queensland will do his bidding. The Prime Minister effectively has 9 oppositions. That shouldn't be the way it is, but sadly it is, where it's not just the federal opposition, but it's all of the states, and depending on which of the political branding of the states, well, that's the intensity of the opposition that exists. But that's okay. Power on.